Gently asked a longtime assistant, her voice soft, but her eyes sharp. The assistant hesitated, then replied vaguely, "Your Majesty, some new regulations regarding guests and access to royal areas are being tightened. All approved directly by Prince William." The deeper she dug, the clearer the picture became. Many new internal regulations had been issued strictly limiting invitations for outsiders to important palaces like Windsor Buckingham or Sandringham. These changes were not random, but prepared pages of handwritten notes. She felt her heart heavy. "So it's not just Freddy," she whispered, her voice filled with worry and indignation. Her grandson's expulsion from Windsor was not an impulsive decision by William. It was only part of a long-term plan to gradually remove her family's influence from the most important place in advance, all bearing William's mark, the one gradually taking real control while Charles focused on his health. Some confidential sources revealed that William was preparing for the transition period by restructuring the entire royal system toward a leaner focus on core members. Camilla sat in her private study facing her own position and future. While Camilla quietly investigated on the other side, William and his advisory team were acting swiftly and decisively to control the situation. They understood clearly that any information leak could cause unnecessary turmoil during this sensitive transition period. Meetings related to the royal family's plans were held discreetly with only a small number of trusted individuals participating. All documents and notes were strictly managed, no detail leaked out. William chaired and implying a new era, and in that era, the Parker Bowles family would no longer have the same standing. Camilla looked out the window, her eyes resolute in the darkness. Her quiet investigation was gradually revealing the truth, and she knew that sooner or later, the time would come for a confrontation with William. Then, it would not only be about protecting her grandson's honor, but also in the shadows, where each side tried to protect its own interests. The silence from William and his team only heightened the tension. Camilla understood that isolation was approaching, but she also realized one thing. The greater the isolation, the stronger her determination. The real confrontation had only just begun. After many weeks of quiet investigation, Camilla finally pieced together the full picture. The scattered fragments from Freddy's expulsion he continued public activities as usual, meeting the public and participating in charity projects with Kate. But behind it were meticulous calculations. He knew Camilla was seeking answers, but he believed his plan was solid enough not to be shaken. The game was playing out in Windsor, sudden cancellations of invitations, new tightened regulations, and the frightening silence of palace staff all pointed to an undeniable truth. William was not acting out of momentary anger or a minor incident. He was implementing a long-term strategy to reshape the royal family according to his own vision.
Prince William will go above and beyond to control the monarchy's image by stripping non-royal or non-working royals of their titles.
No one in the room dared to. Was not the action of the security forces, but the person behind the order, Prince William. Camilla immediately confronted the heir to the throne. But instead of explaining, William coldly affirmed that it was a necessary decision. No apology, no explanation. Just a boundary that had just been drawn between the two family branches that had silently coexisted for many years. That night, as anger gradually gave way to suspicion, Camilla began to reflect on the series of recent changes. Invitations that had disappeared. Families speak when Prince William ordered the removal of Queen Consort Camilla's grandson from Windsor Castle. Before the stunned eyes of the guests, Freddy Parker Bowles was escorted out right in the middle of the royal banquet. What shocked Camilla the most after the Windsor incident, avoiding mention of the royal family. She hugged her grandson and whispered words of comfort, but in her heart, she knew this was only the beginning of a longer struggle. The more she thought, the clearer the bigger picture became to Camilla. Internal regulations. Every response was vague, but the vagueness only made her more certain this was no coincidence. William was tightening control. That evening, she met with her son, Tom. What he said only heightened her anxiety. "Mom, I feel full of confusion." Camilla replied firmly, "Mom will look into it. We cannot sit idly by and watch everything being taken away like this." She clearly sensed the growing unease spreading through the family. Freddy had become quiet. "Everything is changing. The invitations from before are gone now. I feel insulted that my son was expelled from the royal family." Like that, Tom said, his voice and experience only added to the heavy atmosphere. Camilla left Windsor with a heart heavy with anxiety, surging anger mixed with vague fear. She realized that Freddy was only the first victim in a much larger plan. William, the heir to the throne, was sending a powerful boundary being redrawn with deliberate intent. Princess Anne, who had witnessed the entire event, stood there in silence. She did not intervene, only nodding slightly as if in quiet agreement. Anne's silence, a woman known for her straightforwardness, royal family. "I cannot explain in detail right now, but I believe Mother will understand. No lengthy excuses, no compromise or comfort. Just a cold, concise response that made Camilla clearly feel this was not merely about expelling a child from a party. It was about message. The era of unconditional tolerance for Camilla's own family was gradually coming to an end. She needed to prepare for the changes ahead. The incident was quickly contained internally, but its repercussions spread strongly among those in the know. This was not just a personal conflict. It was a clear sign that the power transition, but unyieldingly. Freddy bowed his head, shoulders slumped, and walked out of the hall under the gaze of all the guests. That moment felt like a sharp blade slicing through the solemn atmosphere. It was not a random incident or simple misunderstanding. It was a clear message delivered publicly before many people. Immediately after the incident, Camilla sought a direct confrontation with William in a private corner of the castle. The atmosphere between them was extremely tense. She looked him straight in the eye, her voice full of emotion and indignation. "William, my grandson, did nothing wrong. The boy was just standing there quietly. Why did you order him expelled in front of everyone like that? This is a public humiliation." William stood tall, his face resolute, his eyes unwavering. His voice was low but decisive. "Your Majesty, this is a necessary decision for the stability of the royal." Only just begun, but the boundaries had been clearly drawn. According to you, is William acting for the benefit of the royal family, or deliberately pushing Camilla's family out of the center of power? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy. And focused on its public mission. There was no room for outsiders benefiting from personal connections. The royal family is not a family club, he had once said coldly in an internal meeting. In William's heart, the vision of the future was clear. When he became king, everything would, when his mother endured pain because of Camilla's presence. Though time had passed, the wound still lingered. William had learned to be polite to his stepmother, but genuine warmth had never existed. Freddy Parker Bowles' appearance at the Windsor reception was the last straw. William decided to act earlier than planned. He called the security team and issued a clear, firm order. No need for lengthy explanations. The action was not just about expelling a teenager from the castle, but a declaration of a new boundary. From now on, everyone's place would be clearly defined. Princess Anne, who was always known for her to be different, Camilla's own family would no longer hold the special position they currently enjoyed. He was not acting out of personal hatred, but out of responsibility to the monarchy. He remembered the chaotic years of his childhood. That silence was quiet support for William. Anne understood better than anyone the burden the heir had to bear. William sat in his private office after the incident, his gaze directed toward the Windsor Gardens. He felt no triumph, only some relief. This had to be done, he told himself. He understood the decision would cause ripples, especially with Camilla. But he was ready to face it. As the future king, he could not let personal emotions dictate. The future of the monarchy had to come first. Meanwhile, Camilla began to feel the pressure. William had never confronted her publicly, but through his actions, he had clearly shown his stance. He did straightforwardness, and prioritizing the long-term interests of the royal family had witnessed everything. She did not intervene, only silently observed and nodded slightly. William's reign, where boundaries were clearly drawn, and the royal family was rebuilt according to a modern streamlined vision. Camilla now had to face the harsh reality that the era of unconditional privileges had ended. In the days following the incident at Windsor, Camilla did not sit idly waiting, not accept her family, continuing to expand their influence. The power game had truly begun, and William was leading it in his own way, decisive, cold, and calculated. The incident at Windsor was not just an order to remove someone. It was a manifesto for a new king. She began acting wisely and discreetly. With years of experience in the palace, Camilla knew that direct confrontation at this point would only worsen the situation. She chose to gather information from within, turning her anger into motivation to seek the truth. She spent time in private conversations with longtime close associates in the royal family. These talks were conducted subtly, like ordinary afternoon teas. "I've noticed the schedule has changed quite a bit lately. She careful. Mom can clearly see they are tightening everything. William does not want our family to continue appearing as before." Tom was silent for a moment on the other end before replying. "I feel it too, Mom. Many previous events no longer have invitations. Freddy still hasn't recovered from the Windsor incident." Camilla sighed. "Mom will not let everything happen without doing anything. We need to know their true intentions." The more she investigated, the more shocks. Her other grandchildren were also starting to receive fewer invitations to events. Even her son Tom and daughter Laura were getting fewer invitations than before. One evening, Camilla called her son Tom. Her voice was low but determined. "Tom, you must be shocked." Camilla became. She discovered that some longtime palace staff were beginning to distance themselves. Those once loyal to her were now more cautious, not wanting to guide Windsor family members. They enjoyed privileges that William believed they did not deserve. They do not carry royal blood, have no official role, so why are they treated like real members? William had once pondered with close advisors. He felt the boundary between the official royal family and Camilla's own family was gradually blurring. That was something he could not tolerate. William clearly witnessed the changes under his father's reign. Charles, out of affection and a desire to solidify his wife's position, had opened his arms wide to welcome her family. But to William, that meant diluting the essence of the monarchy. After a series of major scandals, especially Uncle Andrew's issues related to Epstein, William became even more resolute. He believed the royal family must be neat, transparent. Changed. The Parker Bowles family appeared more frequently in royal activities. Camilla's grandchildren were invited to Christmas private parties, and even appeared alongside trees. Queen Camilla appeared with her familiar grace, her gentle smile concealing many calculations. She had personally brought her grandson, Freddy Parker Bowles, a teenager about 15 years old, to attend. The boy caused the reception to honor individuals and organizations that had made significant contributions to the monarchy took place in a solemn, history-filled atmosphere. Officials, donors, and members of the royal family arrived one after another, exchanging polite pleasantries. William was quietly eliminating Camilla's family's influence from the future of the British royal family. In the early days of June 2026, Windsor Castle once again became the center of silent upheavals within the British royal family. Gatherings that no longer included her relatives' names. Doors that had once been wide open now seemed to be closing little by little. Was Freddy's expulsion from Windsor merely an embarrassing incident? Or was it the first sign that to act wisely, quietly, gathering information before it was too late? The game of power in the palace had never been easy. And this time, she faced a young, decisive, and ambitious opponent. Going back many years when Charles and Camilla held their wedding, William had chosen family. At first, he tried to overlook it. He saw his father happy, saw Camilla gradually accepted by the public, and thought tolerance was necessary for the monarchy's stability. Over time, things silent acceptance. He wanted to maintain family harmony, especially after the traumas his mother, Princess Diana, had endured. But deep in his heart, Prince William had never truly accepted Camilla's own family, increasingly infiltrating the heart of the royal family. William not only wanted to protect the royal family's image, but was also reshaping the entire power structure. And her family, those without royal blood, were becoming the first targets to be removed. Initial anger gradually transformed into cold resolve. Camilla knew she had the throne. The thought made her shudder. William had never truly been warm toward her, though he was always polite on the surface. She knew the painful past involving Diana still haunted him. And now, as power transitioned, he seemed to want to redraw a neater royal family, where only true Windsor blood occupied the center. Burning determination ignited in Camilla's heart. She was not one to easily accept defeat. With the resilience that had held sidelines, she told herself, her voice low and filled with worry. Suspicion grew in Camilla's heart. She began questioning William's role, the heir who was increasingly wielding real power, while Charles faced health issues. Was William deliberately creating distance from her family? Was he preparing to gradually eliminate her influence before officially ascending? Helped her overcome countless scandals and criticisms in the past. She told herself she must act. The next morning, she began quietly investigating. She called old close contacts, subtly inquiring about recent changes in schedules and biological mother. William shook his head slightly, his voice still resolute. "This is not revenge. I have learned to forgive and respect you, but I cannot let history repeat past mistakes. The royal family must be neater, clearer. When I ascend the throne, everything will be reshaped. You will retain your position, but the Parker Bowles family will no longer have the privileges as before." The heavy silence lingered. Camilla looked at William, realizing his eyes showed no wavering. She understood she could not change his special positions like this. This is not personal, but a responsibility to the country and the monarchy. Camilla felt as if a sharp blade had cut through her heart. She stood still for a moment, then replied in a voice trembling with emotion. "I have sacrificed so much to stand by Charles. My family has never demanded power, only wished to be close and supportive. You are turning my grandchildren and me into outsiders. Is this your way of taking revenge for your body?" He believed it was the right thing. The Windsor incident was only the beginning. Now both sides clearly understood their positions in this intense power game. The British royal family was changing. William was leading that change, and Camilla had to find a way to adapt to her new role in the coming reign. The future had no doubts or tears, only a silent understanding between the two. Camilla left with a weary but resilient demeanor. She knew that from now on, her relationship with William would enter a new phase, colder, more distant, but clearer, and more transparent. William stood alone after the meeting, sighing with slight relief. He had spoken the truth. His vision for the royal family was gradually becoming reality, though facing opposition from Camilla's decision. This was the moment the real power transition began. Though painful, she had to accept the harsh reality. Her family's influence was gradually ending. The confrontation ended without shouting. Her grandchildren had once been allowed to participate in important events, even appearing alongside William's own children. Yet now, everything seemed to be reversing. They are pushing us to the... Her biological family, those who had once been warmly welcomed under Charles, were now gradually absent from official royal family activities. Family dinners, charity events, even invitations to Christmas at Sandringham had become inexplicably scarce. Previously, her daughter Laura, son of these steps, she clearly remembered the early years when she became Duchess, then Queen. Charles had worked hard to integrate her family into the inner circle, helping her transform from the most hated woman in Britain into a symbol beside the throne. Tom and their children frequently received invitations from the palace. Now many familiar invitations suddenly vanished or were replaced with vague excuses. Camilla stood up and paced the room with heavy. The final confrontation took place in a private meeting at a suburban palace with no other witnesses. The atmosphere was heavy and suffocatingly tense. Camilla entered with a resolute demeanor, though her heart was full of emotion. William stood there tall and composed, his eyes calm but determined. This was a moment both knew was inevitable. Camilla spoke first, her voice clear but laced with pain. "William, this isn't just about Freddy, is it? You are gradually removing my family from the royal family. These changes, the new regulations, all arranged by you. Why are you doing this?" William looked her straight in the eye, not avoiding. His voice was low but firm. "Your Majesty, I do not deny it. When my father is no longer in the leading position, I will be responsible for the entire monarchy. The royal family needs to be streamlined, professional, and focused on its true mission. Your own family has received many privileges under my father, but the future must be different. Those without official roles cannot continue to hold. The boy, her beloved grandson, son of her son Tom, had been publicly humiliated simply for appearing by her side. Burning anger mixed with heartache made her clench her fists until her knuckles turned white. Within the British royal family was entering a decisive phase. That evening,